Welcome to the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast with your host, Cody Jansen.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 9 of the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast, brought to you by CST Tires and hosted by me, Cody Jansen. We have a mini episode in store for you tonight covering the ins and outs of acquiring sponsorship. Our friends at CST Tires proposed the idea to me, and being that it's that time of year, I thought we'd drop a quick episode about it so you guys could get on it ASAP if you haven't already. But before we dive right into that, I have to thank our show sponsors for making all of this possible. Thank you to our title sponsor, CST Tires, CSTTires.com. The Pulse MXR tire is the best tire on the market no matter what the terrain. Join the CST takeover or prepare to be beat by someone who did. CST Tires, where passion meets the ground. Thank you to SSI Decals for their support. SSI Decals has assisted Team USA in winning their third straight Quad Cross of Nations title and swept the podium at every ATV Pro race all year. If you don't use SSI Decals, you will not win. Thanks to those guys. Thank you to DID Racing Chain and their 520 ATV2 X-Ring chain. The Team USA boys trusted DID's chain and rivet clip to earn them the victory in Germany this past weekend. DID Racing Chain, nothing better. Thank you to 4Works Carbon for coming on board. Their 2020 rider support period is now live, so act fast to join the 4Works team today. Check out their social media pages or website to apply, as well as featured products, discount specials, and more. Thanks, as always, to Evans Waterless Power Sports Coolant. Upgrade to Evans now to avoid overheating and boilover next time you hit the racetrack. When conditions are at their worst, Evans is at its best. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP20 at checkout to save at evanscoolant.com. Thanks to DP Brakes, the unquestioned leader in motorsports and powersports braking. Thanks to DP for allowing me and so many others to outbrake the competition every time we're on the racetrack. Thanks to Blenders Eyewear, whose Life and Forward Motion brand is the perfect fit to partner with our podcast. You won't find better shades for a more attractive price anywhere else. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP20 to save on the trendiest shades on the market. BlendersEyewear.com. Thanks to Oats Overnight. Life is hard, make breakfast easy. Simply combine with milk before bed and enjoy your to-go breakfast in the morning. Overnight oatmeal loaded with superfoods, perfect for athletes. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP10 to save at checkout, oatsovernight.com. Thanks to 100% and their new Omega Goggle, unparalleled performance for the modern racer. Thank you to Mountaineer brand. If you know me, you know I love my beard. That's why I treat it right with Mountaineer brand's all-natural washes, oils, balms, and more. Use discount code CODYSFAVE in all caps, that's CODYSFAV at mountaineerbrand.com. And I'm so proud to announce our partnership with these two new brands. The first being Namura Technologies, Pistons with an Attitude. Namura has led the charge in the ATV, UTV market since 2001 with their wide array of pistons, rings, gaskets, and industry-leading top-end repair kits. Visit your local dealer or online at Namura, that's NAMURA.com. Also, a big thanks to Bronco ATV and UTV components. Bronco has been the industry leader in replacement hard parts and accessories for all makes and models for over 15 years. Whether it's electrical components, engine internals like rods and cylinders, suspension parts, or bearing kits, Bronco is your hard parts source when it comes to whatever you need for whatever you ride. BroncoATV.com. Thanks to our new additions for supporting the podcast, and thanks to all of our sponsors. We pride ourselves in partnering with only the best brands in the industry, better your riding experience and your lifestyle by supporting the sponsors who support us. If you love the show, the best thing to do is support our partners. Once again, thanks to all of our sponsors. So if you're listening, you're interested in gaining sponsorship. I get asked constantly, especially this time of year, how do you get sponsors? I'll start by mentioning the biggest mistake that I see people make. Oftentimes, a sponsor only hears from a rider when they want something, whether it be sponsorship, product, going forward after that, increased sponsorship, and that's not a recipe for success. I've always made, personally, constant contact and promoting my sponsors the number one objective of mine because that support that I get from them, without that, I couldn't feasibly afford to live out my dreams the way I do. The array of personal sponsors that I have truly make all this possible for me. My racing career, that is. So the hardest step for anything that we do in life is that very first step. So where do you start when pursuing sponsorship? Well, you start by putting a resume together. But, I hear this a lot of times, but I don't know how, or I don't know where to start. Well, that's not a valid excuse. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to achieve your goals? You get as much as you put in when it comes to sponsorship. Selling yourself to potential sponsors is the most critical part of the entire process, and it really shouldn't be hard. No one should believe in you more than you. So what you want to do is focus on what sets you apart from the crowd, but again, selling yourself to somebody should honestly be the very easiest part of the entire process, because speaking from experience, I believe in myself, more than even all of the people around me, all of my supporters. Like, give me a chance to walk in the door and try to sell myself to somebody, and I'm going to take my odds every single time. So let me talk about my personal resume a little bit. So my resume contains the following. I start with a flashy cover, kind of just to give it a good look, to gain some attention. Directly inside that cover is a one-page overview with everything that a sponsor needs to know. And kind of going back to my last comment, but that's where I truly sell myself. It's paramount that you're pretty, relatively concise in this part of the resume. That's why I say in that one page, I don't want you to exceed one page. I wouldn't suggest that you exceed one page, because if you're sending this to higher ups in a company, they might not have time to read your entire resume. So you have to make that quote unquote sell hit them hard. So that's why you want to do it right at the beginning of the resume, hit them with everything that they need to know and maybe your biggest sell points, and be concise about it, because that's what's going to make you, hopefully successful with this whole process. Following that, my resume includes a handful of letters of recommendation, which are going to obviously aid you in selling yourself, because there's things that somebody can say about you that, maybe it wouldn't be right for you to say about yourself. So that can be a big key to helping you, is those letters of recommendation. Mine are people I've worked with in the past, even acquaintances, family, friends, anybody like literally have just stepped up and said, hey, can I write a letter of recommendation for you? So those things will kind of fall into place. You just don't maybe want it to be family members or something like that, because maybe they don't look as credible. But letters of recommendation are absolutely key, and I think they add to the content of your resume 100%. Then after those letters of recommendation in my resume, I have an array of race reports, a race report from each event all season long. This isn't intended for reading word for word, but it's so a potential sponsor can see that they can expect updates from me all season long. Updates after every event. And again, contact is key. So what you're trying to do here is show that, they're going to hear from you. If they extend your sponsorship, that's going to be the difference in you or, your competitor, is that you're showing them, hey, you're going to get a real race report from me every race. You're going to know how my season's going. And, maybe your competition isn't doing that. That could be the one thing that sets you apart, and that makes, you ultimately get the sponsorship over somebody else. So if it comes down to a tie, that's something that could definitely set you apart. The fatal flaw for so many individuals when they're going after sponsorship is that they contact the company only when they want something, like I said at the open here. And if that's the case, the sponsor probably isn't going to stay on board for very long. Additionally, I have countless amounts of photos littered throughout my resume. not just riding photos, though there are many of those, but also, podium pictures, screenshots from television programs I've been on, ads for different companies using my likeness, photos with fans, photos from my riding schools and doing these podcasts, family photos, whatever. Do whatever you have to do to sell yourself, to make the resume embody who you really are, not just, a one-sheet list of your accomplishments, or not kind of some flashy, laminated, kind of thing with some pictures and, saying your goals for next year. You want that resume to truly embody who you are. So it's very difficult, as a complex human being like we all are, it's very difficult to put that into paper or into a document and send it to people. That's why anything you can do, especially those pictures, get it in that resume, get it to somebody who, who you're after for sponsorship, but you're really trying to sell yourself. You got to make sure that you and your whole embodiment is in that resume. Because I've had sponsors say to me before, I don't even know why we picked you. We just liked you. We liked the vibe that you put off on your resume. So take the next step. So you put together a good resume. You get sponsored. You get some product. Now you're good. That's it, right? No. Actually, you're just getting started. This is key. Make your sponsors know that they're appreciated. So if you receive sponsorship, good. Thank them. Shoot them an email. That goes a long way. Trust me. I think that, obviously everybody should be doing that kind of thing. I think that this is like elementary level stuff, but it's not done by most. The next step too after that is, as you kind of get into the season, or you're maybe even prepping for the season, is those race reports that I spoke of. Social media posts on Instagram and Facebook, that's better than nothing, but that's not enough. So take the time, write the race reports, shoot them to your sponsors via email, and it will directly impact gaining sponsorship and, more importantly, being granted increased sponsorship in the future. The amount of sponsorship you received will directly result from the amount of effort that you put in. So don't say you want it if you're not willing to put in the work. It's just like anything else. It's just like training. Getting sponsorship is a tireless, long, tedious thing if you're going after, a lot of sponsors. But you put in that effort, you put a good resume together, you really sell yourself well, you are relentless in pursuing sponsors and different sponsors. That's ultimately how people get sponsors. It's not, shooting, a potential sponsor an Instagram message. That's how this whole conversation started, with one of the companies that I work with. They said, hey, you'd never believe how many, good riders shoot us a message on Instagram with bad spelling and no punctuation looking for sponsorship. And that's just not how it's going to work out. You have to look at this as a business. Again, selling yourself should be the easiest part. Like, selling yourself doesn't take any research, doesn't take any homework, doesn't take any prep time. All you're doing is selling yourself. So take that, put it in a resume, get it to people, and, you're going to get what your desire is. But it's all in the effort that you put into it. So, lastly, don't be afraid to send them thank yous. Again, anything you can do to make it known that they're appreciated and that you're grateful for their support, you got to do it. Sponsorship is an investment, and product is money to them. You got to look at it like when they're sending you product, that's money that they could be making, that they're taking out of their pocket and giving to you. So, like this year, for example, I won a national championship. So what did I do? I took my money, spent the money, got a bunch of replica national number 1 plates made, and sent them to my sponsors, basically awarding them because, that national title isn't just mine, but it's theirs too, because without them, it wouldn't be possible. Putting forth the effort, in that category isn't hard for me because I rely on their support. It's the little things. Here in 2019, social media presence, that constant contact, and being an influencer for the brand is just as important as on-track results. So, Think about that for a second. Whatever level you're at, your social media can be you building your own brand. Make it a brand that somebody really wants to partner with. I take the whole business side of things, more seriously than 99% of the riders, and that's how I've went on to get support from legendary corporations like Valvoline and being the only ATV rider, supported by them. Thor, another great example. I'm the only official Thor ATV rider. A lot to do with because of the way I pursue all of this. This is why I've received, more product and support than most all of the pro class. Even though I'm no longer racing the pro class, I do a better job advertising for the brands. I make sure that those companies know how grateful I am. And, it's not that hard. It's the effort you put in is what you're going to get in return. And that's with a lot of things in life. And, that's no different with sponsorship in pursuing it. So, sponsors want to support you. Yes, of course. But what you got to realize is their main goal by sponsorship and supporting us riders is they want you to help them sell product. So if you abide by these guidelines I've given you, you will get sponsors, at least more than you got now, and you could very well get the sponsors that you're kind of out there desiring to be sponsored by. That's a promise. Don't kid yourself. Good sponsors just don't fall into your lap. So they're not gonna message you and say, hey, we want to give you this, this, and this. That's just not how it works. No matter how good you are, you got to go get them. So again, the first step is the toughest step, and time is of the essence now because a lot of sponsorship periods maybe only are from September to the end of October, or they're from September or October to the first of the year. So there's no time for waiting right now. If you're trying to pursue sponsorship for the 2020 season, you're going to have to get on it now. So put that resume together. You're going to need to spend a little time on it. Doesn't matter how many accolades you have or anything like that. Like, people say that a lot of times to me. They're like, well, I can't get any sponsors because, I haven't raced yet, or I haven't raced a lot yet, or I don't race nationals. And that's not necessarily it. Sponsors want to support good people. It's not always because they're the best riders. Again, like I just stated, there was a time in my life not that long ago that I was a top 10, ATV rider in the world. And I'd still, put my speed about there. But the point is that I get the support that I get, not because of necessarily because I'm I'm not the best pro, not even racing the pro class anymore. But I get the support that I get because I showcase my sponsors. I make sure they know they're appreciated. I, showcase that product that they're helping me with. And I just take every avenue that I have, whether it be social media, talking about it to somebody when I get the chance. I mean, all of that stuff I take so seriously. And I truly handpick the companies that I work with because I like the product. I like the people, and it's very easy to me. It's not a job to sell this product to people listening because I enjoy the product, I enjoy the people, and again, without those companies, I wouldn't be able to do it. So, again, put that resume together, get it out there. If you don't hear back, after a little while, maybe after a couple weeks, a month, resend that thing if you haven't heard. And don't just focus on one brand or one product, or, you might have to kind of spread your array because that way you're getting your potential success rate the highest. Instead of just shooting one shot, you shoot that one shot. Maybe you don't, take down the one you're looking for. If you shoot 10 shots, I know that you're going to get something out of it for sure. So, and then after you get that sponsorship, remember, thank yous go so far. Not enough people do it. And you got to keep that line of communication going. Do race reports, do updates throughout the season. Again, make sure those sponsors know that you're thankful. And because, again, the biggest flaw, and it has been for as long as this sport's been around, is the lack of contact where a rider only reaches out to that company when they want something, or, okay, I reach out to you now because I want sponsorship, I get my little bit of product, and then you don't hear from me until next year, and now I want more. That's a fatal flaw. It'll never work, but it's something that happens every off season with every company, and that's why I'm here trying to help, kind of spread the business side of sponsorship. And this, in this market is small enough that you need to do what you can to separate yourself. So go the extra mile. That's what I've, kind of built my whole racing program on, is going the extra mile. And I have so many amazing, great people in my corner, lifelong friends that'll have forever, that all started with setting myself apart from the rest of the people that were, looking for sponsorship. And again, I've found some of my, my best friends and great company relationships that I'll have for forever by doing so. So with that, let's hear a word from our sponsors. And now, please stand up and make some noise for our title sponsor, CST Tires. CST Tires and their Pulse MXR tire have completely overtaken the ATV market. Used by Thomas Brown to clinch a third straight Quad Cross of Nations title, by Nick Janusa as he dominated the Montreal Supercross, and myself, Cody Jansen, as I rode my Pulse MXR fronts and white label soft compound rears to a 2019 National Championship in the Junior 25 Plus class. The Pulse MXR tire, available in soft and standard compounds, offers the highest level of traction, most predictable cornering, and superior wear characteristics than the competition. Join the takeover or prepare to be beat by someone who did. CST Tires, where passion meets the ground. Check them out at csttires.com today.
Anybody that I've gotten to try them, I've heard nothing but positive things back.
SSI Decals is a name that is synonymous with ATV racing and synonymous with success. An offshoot of their parent company that was established in 1947, SSI first took shape from owner Ian Harris's passion for ATVs. After making number plates and decals for riders like Chad Whedon, the company quickly took off. Today you couldn't imagine ATV motocross without SSI decals. The graphics maker now supports all the top teams in ATV motocross, as well as GNCC, Work Series, Pro Motocross and Supercross, Canadian Pro Motocross, short course off-road trucks, UTVs, snowcross, and, oh yeah, 6-time NHRA World Champion Clay Milliken. No project is too big or too small for SSI decals, making your identity stick with championship-level graphics. SSI decals. The Digging Deep ATVMX podcast is brought to you in part by DID Racing Chain and their 520 ATV2 chain. This patented X-ring chain boasts a steel alloy construction for reduced weight, increased strength, and a longer chain life, making it the optimal ATV racing chain. Pick up an ATV2 chain today at your local dealer or wherever DID chains are sold. Wherever you go, go with DID. We're pumped to bring on new partner, Namura Technologies. Since 2001, Namura has led the charge in the ATV and side-by-side market, covering more applications than anyone else in the industry. Namura's advanced piston technology uses a NASA-exclusive aluminum alloy that helps to reduce expansion rates, allows for tighter tolerances, and leads to higher overall engine performance for your machine. For more information about Namura's wide offerings of pistons, rings, gaskets, and industry-leading top-end repair kits, visit your local dealer or online at www.namura.com. Namura Technologies, pistons with an attitude. We are also pleased to announce our partnership with Bronco ATV and UTV components. Bronco has been an industry leader in replacement hard parts and accessories for all makes and models for over 15 years. With a catalog that includes a full line of electrical components, engine internals like rods and cylinders, all the way down to suspension parts and bearing kits, Bronco is your hard parts source for whatever you need for whatever you ride. Available exclusively through distributors around the world, visit your local dealer or online at broncoatv.com. We are also supported in part by Evans Waterless Powersports Coolant. The best powersports coolant on the market, Evans prevents overheating and boil over, so you never have to worry about harming your engine or having a premature end to your ride due to overheating, no matter what the condition. Designed for use in ATVs, UTVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles, and more, Use what the pros use. Upgrade to Evans today. The Digging Deep ATVMX podcast is also sponsored by DP Brakes. DP has been dominating the ATV world for a while now by supporting riders like Joel Hetrick, Jeffrey Rastrelli, Nick Danusa, Baldwin Motorsports, JB Racing, Root River, myself, and more in ATV motocross. In GNCC Racing, they have all of the top 15 XC1 pros using DP, including the likes of Walker Fowler, Jared McClure, Chris Borich, Bryson Neal, Cole Richardson, and more, not to mention Hunter Hart and the top 4 XC2 riders. These riders continue to appreciate the high performance and impressive durability that their DP brakes have to offer, products that ultimately help place them consistently on the top of the podium. Available at dp-brakes.com, purchase at your local dealer, or even message me for their contact info today. What are you waiting for? Join the best ATV riders in the world on DP Brakes. Forworks Carbon's innovative lightweight products include top-notch seat covers, carbon fiber and plastic hoods, tank covers, exhaust shields, shock guards, and much more. Whether you have an ATV, UTV, or snowmobile, Forworks has goodies that'll make you salivate. I trust Forworks for increased function and a sexier look. Forworks Carbon, always working hard to bring high-quality, innovative parts to the market. Check them out today. Well, guys, that's it. I hope you take advantage of the knowledge that I shared with you today about sponsorship, and the fruit's there for the taking, so you just got to go and grab it. I think that you're going to see some more of these shorter mini episodes sprinkled throughout the off season here. Obviously, we're going to bring our featured shows with our big heavy hitter guests, but I think you will see some of these smaller shows, sprinkled in here and there, maybe one topic shows, and so keep an eye out for that. But up next, we're going to have an episode with hopefully all of, but at least some of Team USA following their big win last weekend in Germany at the Quad Cross of Nations, their three-peat. So super excited about that, having those guys back on to talk about the whole event over there should be spectacular. So that's going to be coming soon, and we got all kinds of sick content coming, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. The best way to stay tuned is subscribe to the show, follow the show, the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast on social media, both on Facebook and Instagram, and follow myself as well on those outlets so you can kind of stay tuned with what we got going on with the show. I try to keep everybody kind of super in tune with what's coming, and that's actually a little bit why I thought having this episode would be a really good idea, because I could also update you guys that we want to have a Team USA show still coming following the event, and I got, like you would have heard on the last episode with Digger Doug Gus coming, we got a feature of, kind of my story. People have been really blowing me up about that. We got all kinds of other all kinds of stuff in the works. So super pumped about that. You're going to want to stay tuned. So yeah, guys, I need to thank my producer, my brother Dallas, for everything that he does for the podcast. I couldn't do it without you, D. Thank you to my other half, Taylor Smith, for all her graphic design work. She's fantastic. She makes the podcast look incredible, so thanks to her. We got to thank all of our sponsors: CST Tires, SSI Decals, DID Racing Chain, Nomura Technologies, Bronco ATV and UTV Components, Evans Waterless Power Sports Coolant, Forworks Carbon, DP Brakes 100% and their new Omega Goggle, Blenders Eyewear, Mountaineer Brand, and Oats Overnight. Support the brands that support our show and use those codes to save. And if you enjoy the show, we encourage you to donate via Patreon if it suits you. You want to win a CST podium hat like the one I wear? The first caller to leave a voicemail telling me what CST stands for will receive a fresh hat shipped to them for free. So our hotline voicemail number is 920-569-3519. That's 920-569-3519. Tell me what CST stands for, and we're going to send you a free hat for doing so. Remember, you can leave us a question, comment, any kind of input you have, anything you want us to hear. You can leave that for us on that number at any time, and we may just play you on the next episode. So that's super exciting. Get more people involved, and you can be a part of the show. So super excited about that. So yeah, guys, thanks for listening. I hope that you found that this information was helpful. different kind of show for us, kind of testing the waters to see if people like it. So, again, thanks to you guys. Subscribe to the show, give us a rating. That really does help us. If you do that, it kind of gives us input. It also gives us the ability to show people that people really enjoy what we're doing here, and our approval rating is really good. So keep that coming. Tell your friends, share our posts. You guys have been super good about that. We got hundreds of shares going on with our coverage from the Nations race last weekend. So keep that up. We appreciate it so much. It all really helps. So keep your eyes open for all the awesome content coming soon this off season. And guys, with that, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Cody Jansen, and until next time, thanks for digging deep with the stars of ATV Motocross.